If there's one foundation people could not stop talking about last year, it was this one, the L'Oreal Paris Skin Ink. I didn't buy it at the time because although it's pretty much my job, when something trends too much, I'm like, I'll let others get on with it, but I have had it for a long time. Let's do a wear test. It makes some claims that are like, okay. I have a lot to cover today. So that's what we're gonna do. First impressions and a wear test and see if the hype was overhype. Was it just ads? What was going on? Were people just trying to get their commission on TikTok Shop? So just before we try it, I just wanna go through some of the things that they say on their website because there are quite a few different things in it. Like it's an ink. What the hell is a skin ink? So, Skin Ink Foundation. This is the shade range. It's not like the widest shade range at all. Actually, the last two shades is terrible. It's a terrible shade range. This is actually horrendous. And listen, I understand it's more like a tint. And with tints, you can go probably 1 or 2 shades either side of your actual skin tone and be quite safe in the fact that you have a shade that suits you. However, it would be nice, I see this shade here needs 2 shades here, to add a few fairer and a few, you know, darker. All these mediums. And is there olive tones there? Not really. This one's verging on olive, but also not really. Looking at the swatches though, that doesn't look like the full lineup of their shades. That's actually from their website. You can see there's a lot more deeper ones here and here. And actually not that many medium. What's going on? What's happening? So if you are trying to match your shade online, kind of looking at those swatches before from this color palette isn't really giving the same result as this shade palette. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, yeah, 15 shades. But that's not really, okay, they don't seem to match up. Whatever, that's fine. I guess this is a better look at the shades, although the swatches are just stuck on arms and not real swatches, which is even more annoying. You can tell because, I mean, just look how flat that is. They've been airbrushed over or something. It's not the best representation of their shades. So it has up to 48 hours wear, resist transfer, and sweat resistant. My only issue with when people say things like it's resist transfer, right? On my skin as an oily person, when oil comes out of my face this way and starts to melt the formulations and break down the formulations off makeup, that can't guarantee that it's going to be transfer resistant, right? Because if I now have something that isn't that formula, my oils have got into that formula and it's kind of breaking it down a little bit, it is going to transfer. Sweat resistant, okay, sweat, fine. Sweat resistant, right, is another difficult one. Because at some point, if you're sweating a lot, you're going to want to blot your sweat. So there's been sweat proof and sweat resistant. Like we have waterproof and water resistant. Waterproof means, and sweat proof means, sweat isn't going to break it down, even if you wipe or pat. Sweat resistant is, if sweat drips on it, it's not going to make any marks in it. But if you wipe it, it might come off. Like waterproof mascara is flat out done waterproof. Water resistant means if it gets wet, the water's going to slide off basically. But if you then rub it, it can still be broken down by what it's claiming to be resistant of. So do bear that in mind when you're buying something. If you tend to sweat a lot, say you have hot flushes or you do just get sweaty throughout the day, which is completely normal. So many people do that. It's not only you. Bear in mind resistant and improve, those words. Undetectable feeling, flexible formula. To me, Skin Ink sounds like it's gonna stain, not stain as in really difficult to take off, but almost, you know, when you get like a lip stain or a blush stain, think Benetton, and it really moves with the skin. I believe that will have a flexible formula. So that's what I'm thinking we're gonna get from this product. It's more like that grip and stick. 2-in-1 found sealer, foundation and concealer. Targeted application, blendable for full face, buildable coverage. That's good. L'Oreal explained it as experience the future of long wear. L'Oreal Paris Infallible Skin L'Oreal Paris Infallible Skin Ink is a 2-in-1 foundation and concealer hybrid. Okay, with a soft matte finish and buildable coverage, the groundbreaking fusion technology bonds with your skin, providing undetectable flawless coverage that lasts up to 48 hours. That was self-assessment on 161 women. Sweat-proof and transfer resistant, Skin Ink has been designed to move with your skin so your makeup stays perfectly in place. Transfer-proof, waterproof and sweat-proof, 48-hour wear. We'll have to test all of that. And they do have some quite in-depth instructions for a foundation in terms of application. They say to prime using a primer, which could just be them trying to sell another product. Shake your skin ink for 10 seconds before opening. Dot infallible skin ink onto your skin using the doe foot applicator. Blend seamlessly using your fingers, a brush, or a sponge for desired coverage. And then they say to use it with a mist. I'm not going to do that. I'm literally going to use this with my skincare and leave it at that on the wear test. I'll powder today. Sorry, I've got something on my face that's really annoying me. I think it's a hair. So really the only in-depth instruction is to shake it for 10 seconds. But they do say blend in sections as it does dry down quickly. So it's a weird kind of formula we're gonna get here as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and use, okay, so I have shade Warm 140. These are brand new. I did take off the seal. Okay, that's quite... Okay, so I got these more towards summer, so I don't think any of these are going to be my skin tone. This is probably going to be the closest. This one is just slightly too yellowy. Let me blend it in. It's going to be too dark, but we'll try it anyway and see what that's like. So that's shade 180 Cool Rose. So just while I'm applying this, I do have an FAQ on their website. What makes this foundation semi-permanent? Skin ink provides up to 48 hours of transfer-proof and waterproof wear, lasting until you choose to remove it. What does found sealer mean? I think that's pretty obvious, right? It combines the coverage of a foundation with a blurring effect of a concealer, so you can achieve a flawless finish with just one product. Not all concealers blur, so that's a bit strange. Will it feel heavy or cakey on my skin? No, skin ink has a light as ink texture that feels ultra thin and undetectable, never cakey or mask-like. What kind of finish does it have? It leaves a natural looking soft matte finish that looks fresh all day. Okay, so this is it applied. It actually looks great. It is a beautiful foundation. It looks really incredible. So on my problem areas, which aren't so much of a problem for me now. I used to have a lot of texture here in my cheeks and a lot of texture on my nose. But the skincare I've been using recently has been, not recently, over the past few months, has just completely improved that texture. When I'm wearing foundation, it always looks nice and smooth now. It looks really, really great on the skin. It's sitting really well. I chose this brush to use. This is from Philly Millie, which is a brand you can get in Olive Young. I wanted like a flat, fluffier brush because the formula to me, when it says skin ink and the fact that you have to shake it, kind of gave me that, not oily, but you know, that separation of ingredients kind of formula. And I think it's very similar to like an airbrush foundation, if you ever used airbrush straight on the skin and not through an airbrush gun. And I just like the way you can apply it flat but then also blend it with a fluffy but flat brush like this. So that's why I used this brush. I think it will go on beautifully with fingers, but so far this looks great. This actually looks really, really stunning. Yeah, I don't look dry anywhere. I look nice and hydrated. I do feel, actually saying that, sorry, I do look a little bit dry in this area here, and my skin was a little bit tight feeling in that area before this. I think it might be because I just shaved and shaped up everywhere around my beard, so the skin is a little bit, you know, it's screaming a little bit. But this looks really, really nice. It is currently 11:32 a.m. I'm filming today. I'm filming a week's worth of content. So I will let you know at the end of it how it's sitting on the skin. But first impressions are beautiful. Can't feel it. Very lightweight. I've used it under my eyes as well since it says it's a concealer. We'll see how that does. Oh, you probably won't see it too much, but we'll do it in the wear test anyway. Because I'm going to put eye makeup on. But yes, so far so good. It looks really, really nice. And actually, the color isn't crazy orange. I wouldn't go out in daylight like this because it does look a little bit too yellowy on my skin right now. Let me do some makeup. I'm going to film all my videos and then it'll cut straight back to me and I'll tell you how it looks right now. Let's just do a close-up of this. There you go. Okay, so this is a close-up. This is on the side of my nose and on my cheeks. It's sitting really, really nicely. I think that's really beautiful. It says semi-matte, but to me it does have more of a glow. I am using underneath. My toner is quite a nice glowy toner. I've just cracked this open because everyone loves it. So I used my brother's and it was beautiful. And then where's the serum? Oh, and then I have the Jungsei Mall Cream Light. So I have got like quite a glowy base on. But I just think that looks absolutely stunning. I can see the hype as to why people were so overhyping it on initial application. But let's see how it sits on the skin. In terms of price, I did forget to mention this before, but I couldn't gauge a solid price for this. So in the UK, it's coming up on websites on Amazon from £5. The most expensive is £15, £14.99, but there's 7, 14, 11. It really is varying in prices everywhere I look. In Ulta, it's $18.99. In Walmart, it's $14.99. And is that L'Oreal's web? No, on Walgreens it's $18.99. So you do have a variation of how much this is everywhere, but that does tell me that you would be able to find it cheaper if you look a little bit deeper. Okay, so here I am. It is currently 1:05 p.m. That didn't take me very long to film, actually, all that stuff. So this is it now on my skin. You can see my nose is very, very shiny, very, quite greasy and oily. But I did spray a mist on my face. It's actually sitting quite well on my cheeks. You can see a little bit of, oh, this fallout under my eye, by the way, please ignore it. You can see a little bit of dryness. You can see a little bit of cakiness there on my cheeks, but I did use a powder. And my forehead, I haven't used anything on, and that's pretty much it. It does look still hydrated. And quite nice, actually. So this is it after that short period of time on an oily but dehydrated skin. Please ignore the blush. I was trying a new blush and it looks horrendous on me. So let me put in my wear test right here. I'm not going to know the result until I filmed it. Obviously, I haven't filmed it yet. Okay, so it is the day of the wear test. It is currently 11:25 a.m. I have started work a little bit later than I would have hoped, but what can you do? These shoulder pads are a bit much, aren't they? I can take them out. Okay, so here's the deal. I was going to do the wear test for this out in London for a day. I was filming my podcast up in London with James. And I was like, you know what? I'll wear the foundation. But I did purchase another one that was lighter after I filmed the first part of this video, because I was like, okay, I would rather have one that I can walk around in that is actually my color. You know what I mean? That's the idea with foundation. So I ordered one and it was too dark for me. So I was like, I can't film this podcast with foundation that's too dark. I'm not going to walk around in public with foundation that is too dark. So what I'm going to do today, I'm filming a whole week's worth of YouTube content, which is what I usually do on Mondays. And all I'm going to do is I'm not going to do any other makeup today. My face kind of needs a bit of a rest. You know when it hurts in some areas? So this week I have a lot of like talking videos. So I am going to just take a week away from the makeup Mondays and just let my skin rest. So I am going to wear the foundation. I'm going to wear this as long as I can throughout the day. You know me, my face is extremely, extremely oily. So there will be a check-in point in the wear test where I'm like, okay, this is where I would usually powder, but I do want you to see without any powder, without anything like that. All I've done to prep my skin today is my toner and my serum. This is how I like to prep my skin for makeup. I'm not leaving the house, so there's no SPF. Otherwise, it would have been toner, because this is a bit more hydrating, a bit more serum-esque in itself, and then my SPF. So that's the skin prep today. My skincare's been on for about half an hour, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a tissue that I've kind of torn the ply, you know, and then I'm just going to blot away at the areas of my face that I know get extremely, extremely oily, and just remove any like skincare residue in those areas. So my skin still has that nice glow to it from the skincare, but I'm not like greasy, greasy, oily. We are going to go in with shade 130 Cool. I don't know if this is the new one that I got. Yeah, this might be the newer one that I got. Okay, and I'm just going to apply this. You probably can't see it on camera, but it's just slightly too yellow, and it's just slightly too yellow on my skin. And remember, this foundation does claim that it is also concealer. So let's do a little bit around the eyes here. Found sealer. No, that was something else, isn't it? Maybe I'm getting my foundations mixed up. No, it did say you can use it under the eyes as concealer, hey. And this is how it looks. It looks the same as it did the first time. I am probably going to build up another layer, but this is it without. This is it with. I really love the subtlety of this. It's just like tinted the skin in the most beautiful way. So we'll do a full face check-in and then yeah. Okay, so what I've done for this test, the side without the scar on the brow, I've done a little bit more of a fuller coverage, more layers. The side with the scar is a lighter layer. This is one layer. This is about 4. So let's get a close-up of those layers. So the side with more coverage, it's looking quite good. I have noticed on my nose though, however, with a more coverage, it is appearing to be a little bit more porous. That could be the skincare I've used now though. And actually, if I gave it a bit of a better blend, it would actually... And then this is the side with a lesser coverage. So this is me at 11:45 a.m. Hello everyone. Okay, so it is 1:07 p.m. And this is my foundation now. I am actually very pleasantly surprised. Let me turn on my close-up camera. I'm actually very pleasantly surprised. I haven't powdered or anything like that. Remember, this is just the skin. So this is the side with a more layers on. I think it's sitting really, really well and really nicely on my oilier areas, like around my nose here. Obviously, if I had primed in a certain way and powdered, this wouldn't be as shiny as it is. The side with not much coverage is sitting really beautifully. I would be happy with this if this is my skin an hour later. You know what I mean? Like, I really like the way this looks on my skin right now. If I would just powder my T-zone and be done with it. So that's longer than an hour. What was it? 11:45, 12:45. So it's been about an hour and 15 minutes, really. I filmed 2 videos, so I have one more to film, and then I would like to edit for my reaction channel today. So I'm going to be in the office and doing all that. So let me film another one and I'll check in with you in another hour. Okay, so I finished filming my makeup content. It's 2 o'clock. I'm in London this week. So I'm actually going to film some reaction content for my reaction channel because I really want to get ahead of myself, and it's 2 o'clock. So it is holding up. It's holding up really well. I won't do a close-up just yet because it doesn't look that much different. It's only been, what? Oh, I guess nearly an hour. It's very shiny. Now I would touch up, like I should have done ages ago. It's not... I'm not experiencing any separation. Like, if I was to powder here, I think we would be good. You know what I mean? The only thing I have noticed is I must have not blended it very well here. And can you see it's kind of created like this mark on my face? But I can't actually move this. Like, it's stuck in place. So now I see what it means by like that ink, it grips. You see, can you see it here? So maybe if I, let's see, see if I go on with some. And I can actually see that the colors oxidize quite a bit because this is the color down. And then this is the new color, freshly down, and then this is the rest of the color. So there is quite a bit of oxidization there on my skin, which is quite oily, which tends to happen on oilier skin anyway. So perhaps do go a little bit lighter because this is probably actually my good shade, and this is actually quite dark now looking at them compared to my neck. So perhaps I do need to find one lighter so I can allow it to oxidize slightly and then get the perfect shade. Okay. It has been a long, long day. You've noticed I have to put blush. You noticed I had to put blush on. I was doing like an experiment. I had to film a reel basically, and I wasn't gonna have any time before I needed to have it up. But you can see my face now is very, very shiny. Like, it's extremely, really extremely shiny. I think this is going to be the end of the wear test because I think at this point on me, where's my camera? I think at this point on me, wear is kind of breaking up a little bit here. Like, look with my finger, I can kind of remove it a little bit. Oh, actually, no, it's actually sticking really, really well. Considering there's no primer, no setting spray, nothing like that, no form of setting. It's actually done incredibly, incredibly well. I'm actually really impressed. If I was going to go on like a day out, I would choose this foundation, just set it with lightly with some powder and just watch it like throughout the day, because this is not horrendous. It's not awful. It's shiny. It's a bit oily, yes, because I am an oily person. But, you know, I would use a mattifying setting spray before, do a little bit of a foundation, not too much because I can imagine they're gonna and do that. This is really, really nice. I would very much trust that this would stick on my face throughout how long I needed it to, whether that be a shift at work, whether that be something else, because it's been how long? When do we start? So it's been about 5 hours. To me, an average day is 8 hours, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like, no matter what you're doing, you have 8 hours in the middle of the day, you know what I mean? Wearing your foundation. Possibly longer for a lot of people. But imagine if I was to powder this, or I had powdered it in the first place, or use a specific primer, for example. This would be really, really nice. I think this is a really beautiful foundation. I'm very happy and impressed with the results. I do wish I could get my shade though, because it does seem to change quite a bit. Yes, all right. Okay, well, you're going to have to let me know if you have tried this foundation, your thoughts on it, what's your skin type, what's it like, what do you usually use? I would love to know. If you want me to do this with any other foundation, do let me know down below in the comments and I will absolutely do that for you. Consider subscribing, give this video a thumbs up, follow me in all my socials on Instagram, TikTok, and a little bit more active over on Instagram, and I will see you very, very soon.